Isn't it wild how we mask like that when we're in this process of like just being around other people because we think we have to be palatable to them, but they don't think they have to be palatable to us?
Yeah.
What is that?
Why is nobody else worried about being palatable?
Right?
Fuck you guys. I'm tired. Oh, neurodivergent creative podcast listeners / viewers, if you're on the YouTube. If you're not on the YouTube, I highly recommend that you get on the YouTube because my face is cute. Today, I have a special guest. This is Carissa Andrews. And let me check your pronouns real quick.
She, her,
okay.
hers. All good.
She is a neurodivergent ADHD author, educator, and what we're going to talk about today, manifestation nerd. So we're going to talk about making manifestation and all that woo-woo stuff neurodivergent friendly. So yes, Carissa, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. Thank you for having me, Caitlin. I'm super excited to be here. I've been following your podcast for a little bit and I'm like, oh my gosh, I love this. So much. We have so much crossover and we were mentioning that just a minute ago, but
we're twinsies. I'm fine. Right. I will adopt you.
It is. Thank you. Thank goodness. I need someone to adopt me.
Yes. I need to be mutually adopted. So we'll adopt each other. And
perfect.
Then
I agree with that.
We will live better lives.
So for me, much like you, I teach authors in different capacities. Like I've been an author since 2010. I've written 30 plus odd books across moly. 3 different genres. Yeah, I write mostly paranormal urban fantasy, but I've recently stemmed off into nonfiction and then also rom-com, steamy rom-com. And so that's been fun. But I teach authors anything from like the basics of how to become an indie author, because to me, sovereignty in this like capitalistic dystopia is a really big thing. And so I like to constantly be looking at the systems that we have at play, changing them, working with what we now have. Like I don't stick around like the same thing that I taught, 10 years ago is completely different at this point. I teach AI for authors to be able to help them with their systems, especially those of us who are neurodivergent. I'm ADHD, and trying to help us like understand the systems.
We might end up having a fight about AI.
It's all good. It's all good. I'm ready to bring it. Okay, I'll change your mind.
No, I don't know if you will.
Okay, that's okay if I don't. I'm not here to change anyone's mind, but it's cool because it's a good conversation to have.
Yeah.
So I teach that. I also teach manifestation for authors. But on the flip side, I'm a Reiki master. I've done energy work for a very long time. So I'm also very woo in multiple things. So not just mindset, but also embodiment. So I have like a YouTube channel that's all about Reiki transmissions, activations, being able to get into the embodiment of healing and move into our next stage, rather than like a lot of us who are neurodivergent, especially when we're in manifestation, we kind of go down I guess it's the thought process of like, how does this work? How do I make this work for me? Mm-hmm. What are the tools? What are the tips? And so we're all up in our mental capacities. And actually what we're forgetting is that we need more embodiment. And so that's where the Reiki level of it comes in.
Yes. Okay. Personal attacks. I love it. No, because I've been working on that myself lately. I had like a little 2+ year hiatus from like all of my spiritual practices. Like if I tried, I just couldn't.
Yeah.
Like my journaling kind of disappeared, like the morning pages that I used to do very consistently, like wake up, write 3 pages. And that just stopped. It dried up, and my moon journal stopped, dried up. And I just was like kind of lost for like a couple years there. And my tarot cards, now that I've been doing some more reading for myself, have been like, hey, buddy, you ready to get out of your brain and into your spirit? And I'm like,
yes,
I guess.
Do I have to?
Oh man, it was a bitch slap. Like they really came for me.
Oh, I'm with you on that. Last year was I have a student who was like, you guys all have to try Moldavite. It's the best thing ever. And I was like, oh, well, I've heard of that. And I kind of want to give it a go. And I got some Moldavite, and literally everything started blowing up around me. It was so bad. It was like implosion of all the things I needed to let go, all the things I needed to shift, and it's like, I've been in a year-long transition of trying to figure out like, who am I? What am I trying to do? What do I want to embody? What have I been saying I'd like to embody, but am not actually embodying?
See, like that kind of stuff, I'm so good at helping other people figure that out. Cause like I will ask you questions that just get like right down into like the intuition. I like to check in with like head, heart, gut. I've got one client who hates that because their gut is like just a real chill surfer dude. And so they're spinning out, they're freaking out and having all of these like panic spirals and like, no, we can't do that. And I'm like, but what does your gut think? And they're like, I don't care what my gut thinks. It really is hard to drop into like the body's intuition and the body's connection to like, I think as neurodivergent people, we've gotten so used to like relying on how fast our brain works. And the gut is not fast like that. The gut is slow.
Yeah. The gut is like, let's check in and like just vibe for a few minutes, maybe get rid of some of this extra energy, like go walk around barefoot for a minute. Yeah. It's like, but I don't have time for that. What are you talking about right now?
Right. Like my brain always wants to go so fast. And then I honestly think that like that's part of what kept me from like my spiritual practices is my brain being like, I don't want to stop and deal with the stuff that's happening up here. I can't. Like if I slow down, I will fall apart. And so like, I don't know, I was just in this sort of like dissociative fugue, not like a clinical fugue, you know, like I didn't wake up and I was like, who am I? But like,
just kind of an ennui.
Yes, this ennui. And now I'm off we and it's better.
I love it.
Yes. I can't take credit. That's a joke in Gilmore Girls.
It is. Michelle is wonderful.
Opposite of ennui. Off we. Oh, I'm scared.
And he wanders off.
Beautiful.
Actually, that wasn't Michelle, was it? It was
Suki.
It was when Suki, that's what it was.
Yes.
And she was like,
so Lorelai goes, talks to Michelle, and he's like, I have ennui. And then she goes and talks to Suki, and Suki has ennui. And Lorelai's like, damn it, Michelle, you broke her. And then she makes the off-we joke, and she's better.
Were you also like, I don't know about you, but like Gilmore Girls was the first show for me where I was like, oh my gosh, someone who can talk as fast as I can. This is amazing.
I really, really loved Gilmore Girls like when it aired. And like my family, like my mom's house family. Because of course my parents are divorced. So like at mom's house, we had all the DVDs, like all 7 seasons. And we would like rewatch them sometimes, but we would only really like rewatch the earlier seasons because then, you know, interest peters out and you get tired of changing all the DVDs. It's not like streaming where you can just binge forever.
Right.
And so like now I'm doing a rewatch and there's some stuff that I just full out forgot ever happened. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, why do I like Jess? Jess is an asshole. And so like I'm watching Jess be an asshole, but then I watch Jess try to work on himself and get better. And I'm like, that's because he's got that Darcy energy where he's like, I'm going to take this criticism and I'm going to work on it.
Yep. I actually liked Logan too. Like I hated Logan the first time around, but I liked Logan the second time because I'm watching it with my daughter who is 16 and we're at the Logan stage now. So I think we're on season 7 and it's like, I actually kind of like Logan, even though he's low-key like obnoxious, but it's like, I don't know, there's something there. And I'm just like, I didn't like him in the beginning at all.
Yeah, he's tough. I just got to the third Dean breakup, like the post-drama breakup.
The big drama.
So I'm like halfway through season 5 right now. But anyway, we're here to talk about manifesting.
Yeah. But we manifested this conversation, so it's all good.
We did. We manifested it because of ennui. So
obviously.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So nice little tangent into like the difference between like feeling it in your body and like actually feeling our feelings versus like intellectualizing feelings. And that's really hard, like especially for like an autistic kid. Yep. I didn't know that I wasn't feeling my feelings until I was in my 30s. That's rough, man. Like, because then I can see sort of like the history, right? Because my mom has always been one of those like, well, it's in the past. Just leave it in the past. Who cares? And I'm like, but it affects me. And I'm like, oh, because she intellectualizes it all. So to her, she's like, well, I already experienced that. What's the use in bringing it back up? I'm like, man, if you would just go to therapy, maybe we could have a relationship.
Object permanence. She's probably got a little bit of that as well.
Yes. Yeah. And to be fair, honestly, like Gilmore Girls is making me think of my mom a lot because we used to like, we thought we were a Rory and Lorelai, but really we're a Lorelai and Emily. And like,
Same with my parents or with my mom.
It's rough.
And she hates Emily. She hates Emily so much. And I'm like,
I kind of love Emily. She's got her problems, but like her little human moments are really endearing her to me.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get off Gilmore Girls. And
yeah, we could it'd be a crazy little side tangent. Oh man. Okay.
That's fine. I feel like maybe we'll do like a follow-up episode that's just Gilmore Girls.
Awesome. For those who really want to listen to that. Come on, guys. You want to.
Like on my Patreon in the Creatives Rebellion, I do bonus minisodes and like
cool.
Maybe we could just do like a good Gilmore Girls cut and I'll put that
I love it. That'd be so good.
Okay. Now you talk about the things that you came here to talk about and I'll stop interrupting you.
Oh my gosh. Well, it's a huge topic. You're going to have to give me more than that.
I know.
I'm like, what?
Let's first tell me about your book, your Write Your Reality.
Yeah.
That you just had a successful Kickstarter campaign this year.
I did. Yeah. So Write Your Reality, it's been on the agenda for a little bit because I've been teaching manifestation for authors, since 2020, I want to say. And so it's kind of been a culmination of all of the things that I teach, but also kind of, for me, obviously being ADHD, I can't just understand surface level manifestation. It doesn't work for me. I understand the basic steps. I teach the basic steps, but I also want to understand the why can this work and what is the science behind it? And so I've gone quantum in Write Your Reality. And so I like to bring in quantum manifestation, quantum physics, and all that kind of entails. But what ended up happening when I was doing that Kickstarter, I've had a different book. It's gone through a couple of iterations where it was originally called Author Imposter, talking about, imposter syndrome and how authors need to work on their mindsets in order to be able to be successful in indie space. And it kind of shifted from that to become Right Frame of Mind. And so I've merged these two books so that they're in what's going to be a 3-part series called Write Your Reality. And the first one's Right Frame of Mind. The second one is Write Your Reality. And the third one is Write Your Wealth. But with with this Write Your Reality Kickstarter, I decided to kind of reimagine Right Frame of Mind to be more neurodivergent-friendly, so that we're incorporating all that I've learned about myself and why this mindset piece and imposter syndrome kind of was such a big deal, and then also go into the quantum manifestation side of it. So I talk about manifestation a little bit in the first book, go into quantum physics in the second book, and it was kind of all just kind of a combination of things that have led me to that point, because as I was teaching manifestation, there were so many of us. I mean, law of attraction brings people of like-mindedness to you. And so there were a lot of people asking the same questions I was asking myself maybe a year or two prior to when they were asking those questions. Mm-hmm. And so as I was digging deeper into manifestation and being able to explain how this works and why this works, it obviously led to quantum physics. And my family's right. It does. It just does.
Obviously led to quantum physics.
It does. And I have a brother he's a physicist, not a quantum physicist, but he is a physicist, with the exception of he has one class to finish, and he got all the way to the end, and in true ADHD fashion went nope and opt out.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's so frustrating. But we've had very good conversations.
Man, that is such a that's part of the disability of ADHD is that thing in your brain that it's mostly done. Once I signed up for Duolingo and once I hit the 100-day streak, I was done.
Good enough.
That's and I just freaking couldn't pick it up anymore.
Isn't that funny? Oh,
it's frustrating.
I can see that.
All right.
I can see that.
So quantum physics.
Yeah. So quantum physics is the biggest thing there, where it's we're going into how manifestation comes together and how we can leverage the understanding of quantum physics for those who have struggled manifesting in the past, because neurotypicals, they make a decision, they lock it in, they take the inspired action, it's done, boom. But for those of us who are neurodivergent, oftentimes it's that middle part, that locking in the vibe, that trusting that it's yours, the trusting that you can be, do, have anything you want, is the part that really kind of is a mind fuck. And so we're constantly second guessing ourselves, and we're trying to come back into that place, and that your manifestations respond to your dominant signal. And so it's learning how to constantly bring this part back. And once you understand the quantum physics behind, quantum reality and the way that without getting too super crazy nerdy, when the particles collapse from the wave function down into the particle, then we are looking at reality from the observer's perspective. And that means us. So like our observation of something is what creates the reality that we're looking at. And so it doesn't mean it is the only reality. It means it's our perceptive reality. And so when we look at it from this malleable place and teach authors like, look, you have the choice to tell yourself that it's going to be this way, or the choice to look at it in the idealized way of what you want it to be. Both are options to you. Like you live in a multi-potentiality of all things. And so it's up to you to choose your dominant intent, your dominant signal. And here's why. And so like that was the basis of that particular book.
I love that. Okay. Yeah. Something that you said tickled my brain. It was on the issues that neurodivergent people have, like locking into the, like, it's already yours. It's already here. And that is something that I recently reconnected with, is my connection to future me.
Yeah.
Because when I was like really locked in, and like I manifested my desk. I manifested my little art desk behind me, because like I would just occasionally go on Facebook Marketplace and look and be like, no, none of these are what I want. Like I want a tilting art table for less than $50. And I would just kind of check every couple days or so. And then one day it was there and I was like, hey, I want to buy this. And they're like, okay, come and get it. And then I did.
I love it.
And other people would call that shopping, but I'm like, no, because I wasn't getting stressed out. And I wasn't like, oh, I'm going to have to buy one new. I knew I was going to find what I wanted at the price I wanted within like a 10-mile drive. And I did.
Yep. Yeah. And you had no resistance to waiting for however long it took you to acquire that thing.
Yes. But then when you're talking about like manifesting, like a fully booked client load, you're manifesting like finishing your book. I mean, obviously you are the action taker there. But I think for a lot of us, the idea of like even connecting to a future vision that is long-term feels unsafe, because we're like, but I don't know exactly what's going to happen. And it almost feels like if we imagine something that doesn't happen, then that means that we got it wrong.
Yep.
And I think that that's the resistance I run into when I'm doing vision work with my neurodivergent clients, is they're like, but how can I know where I'm going to be in 10 years? Anything could happen. And I'm like, that's literally the point, baby. Anything could happen. Yeah. So why not pick a little spot on the horizon and walk toward it?
Yep.
Like that's all the vision is. You can meander, you can take a little stop, you can go look at a stream, you can ride a horse through the plains. I don't care.
Side quest it all you want.
As long as you get back to that spot on the horizon, 10 years is going to pass anyway.
Yep.
So like, why not be in service to a place that you want to end up?
Absolutely.
And that I was completely detached from that for like over 2 years. And I finally got it back. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm alive again. Like that, literally just like that gossamer thread between me now and a hypothetical me who is at that horizon. It changed my life. I feel completely different now. I feel awake and alive in a way that I didn't like a couple of months ago.
Yeah, absolutely. It's amazing how having that, like that signal, like you just said, that guidepost of where you're going is really the thing that helps us. And I think when we get stuck in the weeds, especially for those of us who are neurodivergent, and you're looking particularly at people, right? So a lot of us have a little bit of trauma around people, whether it be friends or friend groups or school or parents, whatever, the myriad of different things. It's like the people are a wild card. And so it's like, if you're trying to have that booked out client list, or like all the readers in the world, or, whatever it is, there's that level underneath in the subconscious that goes, well, people are unpredictable. And most of the time they don't freaking get me. Mm-hmm. And so if that's your baseline reality, that's what you're going to keep manifesting, because you believe that they don't get you, or you believe that manifestation through other people is unsafe or unpredictable. And so once you understand that that's a thing for you, that's a part that you can work on for yourself to rewire, because, a belief is just a thought you continue to think. And so if you want to change that belief, it requires observation of what you currently believe and start thinking thoughts in opposition or towards the direction of what you really want instead, over and over and over again, until it becomes your dominant belief system.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. And honestly, just the act of like learning how to notice, like notice a thought or a belief come up and just question it. Like you don't even have to sit there and be like, okay, I'm going to find a new thought and I'm going to like meditate on it right now. You can do it in an instant and just be like, well, who says? You know?
Actually, for neurodivergence, that's not the best way, because the more you're forcing yourself to go look for the things that are wrong, the more you're making yourself wrong, or you're making the way that you believe wrong. And so then you're actually activating the vibration of things aren't right with me. And so it's better to allow things to come up on their own. So like you have a situation, right now is Mercury retrograde. Normally for me, retrograde's great. But I'll tell you what, this retrograde has been nothing but like, here, let's look at all the shit you haven't dealt with this year. And so then when it comes up, you're like, I didn't know I was thinking like that. Time to rework that one, but then it's like, it's coming up on its own, and it's not you having to go hunt for why am I like this? Because then you're, like I said, you're making yourself wrong, and the way that you are wrong. And that's not the case. I mean, the way that you be is just like you going through life in the best way that you know how. And so if you want to change it, just allow yourself to be the observer of when things come up that you would prefer differently.
That's great. It's so simple.
Right? But also hard at the same time.
It is because like I keep going back to like being a gifted child, and like being taught that your mind is so unique and so amazing and has so much potential. And so like we get this weird pressure to be intellectual.
Yeah.
And letting go of that intellectualism then feels like, but that's what makes me shiny and special. Am I still going to be loved? Am I still going to belong if I don't over intellectualize everything? And like, yeah. And also the people who like you allow into the space, and the people who love you when you are more in your heart and your spirit and your gut, over being useful and overthinking it and people pleasing because you're so already 6 steps ahead and being like, I can anticipate your needs. And like we spend all of our like computer processing power on like trying to make everybody comfortable.
Mm-hmm. There's so
that
much
we forget that like I too deserve to be comfortable.
Yep. Absolutely.
And being comfortable like that requires you to slow the fuck down a little bit.
It does. And it's hard. It's so hard, especially like you just said, when you're 6 steps ahead. And I don't know if you feel like this, but like if I'm 6 steps ahead and I know what I need to do, if I stop in the middle of that momentum and think, oh, well, I'm 6 steps ahead, so it'll be fine, so I'm going to go do this other thing over here. It's like the momentum then will leave. And then when it's time to come back around, either object permanence, like gone. And I'm like, oh, I can't remember what the hell I was doing. Or I just don't have the motivation to do it anymore because that energetic train has left the building.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So, in our like email talks, you mentioned, what works and what totally doesn't work when you are manifesting as a neurodivergent person. So I would love to hear like some of the things like this totally does not work. So like, don't even try it. Like, tell us what we can throw in the dirt and walk away from.
Yeah. So for me, I think that whole like sit down, meditate, focus on the thing that you want and it will come to you. Like that's just bullshit. It is constantly a reworking of our mindset over and over again. I think the only like of the other manifestation teachers that I've followed through the years, the only one that comes so close to being able to do it for neurodivergence, in my personal perspective, other than obviously me teaching as well, is Amanda Francis. And the reason she is such a great teacher is because she walks you through like this 8-step formula of how to retrain your brain every time your mind goes off on a tangent and tries to tell you to do something else or that you are something else. It's literally reframing you over and over again. And for neurodivergence, the problem that we have is that we want it to be so, everything comes to us so easy. This idea of like, oh, I'm so fast at picking everything up. I can do this like super quickly. I can understand this super quickly. But when it comes to rewiring your brain, it is literally an over and over and over and over and over again process for most of us. It's like when you're first learning how to drive, right? It takes a while before you feel super confident in embodying the driver. You are a student driver for a year plus, and you're doing it over and over and over again until you really feel confident in that capacity. And then eventually it becomes so like secondary, you could probably fall asleep driving. Don't do it, but you know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's the same concept. And so we think that we can pick it up and it can just be like, oh, it's as simple as like, I need to do this hypnosis and it's going to get into my subconscious mind. And then I will be able to, it can be that easy. But for most of us, especially those of us who question a lot, number one, you have to have the right hypnosis tool that's getting into your subconscious mind. There are different types of hypnosis methodologies, but also you're dealing with only the mind, and you have to look back at the body embodiment part of it. How do you be, walk, talk, think, act like that version of you who already has whatever it is? Mm-hmm. And over again, it's going to come back to reframing yourself to be that person and embody that thing. And so there are tools that you can use. Sometimes they're going to work, if it's like a quick manifestation tool. I like the 555 journal concept, where you're doing 55 times per day. You're writing out whatever your manifestation is in a gratitude. Yeah, your hand cramps after a while, but what's really cool is the hand-eye coordination aspect of it embeds it into your subconscious mind, and you do it for 5 days. It's literally only 5 days. You don't have to do like straight through. You don't have to do like all 55 in one sitting. You could do like 10 and leave for a little bit, come back and do 10, like whatever. It's just during that day, you do 55. And what's nice about that is, like, if you are in a high vibe place, if you are, lighting candles or using like incense or essential oils or crystals or listening to music that puts you in a high vibe place, you can literally rewire your energetics and your subconscious in that process. Because you're so focused, you have to be hyper focused on writing, hand-eye writing, the coordination of it. And that does work for us. But I think so many people want to just make it seem like it's super easy to just manifest whatever the heck you want. You just decide and then you move on. And it can be that simple. But for most of us, especially those of us who want to understand the when and the how, number one, we have to realize that those are out of our control. They're not even supposed to be on our list of things, the when and the how. We need to like let go of that notion altogether. And that's hard for us. We don't have a lot of patience, and we don't want to leave it up to the universe's timing. Like, what? We want to have it yesterday. What are you talking about? So it can be a bit of a challenge that way. But in my experience too, the biggest component is the nervous system. And so many neurodivergent people, as we're trying to manifest, we don't realize that our nervous systems are in dysregulation. And if we are dysregulated, what's happening is you're sending the signal out with your thoughts, but your nervous system and the part that brings it back is actually your heart center. That's the magnetic center of your body. If they are not in coherence, you are sending the signal out and the field is completely disrupted. And so until we can get our body feeling safe, which again goes back to that embodiment piece, once our nervous system feels safe and we feel like we are in a place of like, this is who I am, this is who I be, of course, this is how it's going to be. That's how that energetic flow works really well. We can still manifest things when we're a little bit dysregulated, but it's not typically going to be what we're meaning it to be. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's like we want something big or grandiose, or we want something that it's going to be, like a consistent income, for instance, or whatever. And you're going to manifest a short burst, or it's not always going to be in alignment with what you really actually want, because you're so nervous system dysregulated. So for us, the first thing that I always recommend to my students and clients who are coming to me for one-on-one sessions, it's like, okay, we need to look at, how do you be on a normal basis? Like how do you feel? Do you feel safe in your body? Do you feel safe day to day? Or do you feel like you're always anxious and always moving and always doing stuff? Because we're going to have to change that so that you can get back into a place of flow where you feel comfortable in yourself.
Yeah. Ooh, okay. And then talking about like manifesting consistent income and stuff like that brings up a great question, which is that poverty is pretty rough on the nervous system.
Yeah.
So like if you're worried about paying your bills, about affording astronomically priced groceries, like the prices are going up and the wages are not. And so like, how do we solve for that variable when we're talking about manifesting? Because it's like, sure, you can manifest a reliable income if you can unclench your butthole a little bit first. And it's like, okay, but like I'm in danger, and it's like, you can't just mind over matter real like circumstances like that, which is like my one problem that I have with like law of attraction guys like Joe Vitale or whatever, where, people who are like, even war is simply a manifestation of people's fucking vibe. And I'm like, is it, or is it capitalism, Joe? Like,
yeah.
I feel like
capitalism is also part of the vibe. You know what I mean? Because that's coming, it's a systemic from the top down, trying to get people into a fear-based mentality. So once fear is the dominant vibration of the collective, it's easier to control that collective from the people who are outside of it, right?
Yes,
and so when
like it's so fear-based. Mm-hmm. So how do we opt out of like the manufactured fear of capitalism and get back into like an embodied place? And I think I just answered my own question, because it's getting into an embodied place.
Well, and it's also getting to that point where you're like, okay, I see you. I see what you're doing. I see why this is happening. I see what this is meant to do to me, and choosing to be like, fuck that. No, that's not the vibe. That's not what I'm doing. I can see my bank account right now and it sucks ass, but I'm going to be a little bit delulu and trust that I get to be and have and do something even greater. So while I'm looking at that and this is my current reality and there's not a lot I can change about the now reality of that, I'm going to put my energy, effort, and focus on what I get to have instead. I already know this is bullshit. I know this is not going to work for us. I know this isn't sustainable on a global level. They want this to be this way and they want me to feel this way. No, that's not going to happen. And so it's almost kind of tapping into, like, when you're looking at the emotional scale, tapping into that defiance and anger a bit, like lighting that fire in your solar plexus and being like, no, that's not the vibe. And being defiant enough to choose to look at whatever's going to bring you joy. And sometimes that means, unfortunately, not even thinking about money at all. Like the vibration of joy, peace, passion, love, appreciation, all of those higher vibrational things, they don't require you to be feeling that way about money. They just want to be felt. And so if we can, Abraham Hicks talks about this a lot, where it's like, just drop the stick. If that one has too much of the discordant energy, drop the stick. Don't focus on the one where it's like you keep always entering into the wrong end of the stick, where you're looking at the absence of the thing that you want. So you just drop it. What brings you joy then? That's where the creativity comes in, right? Do the creativity, like fuck capitalism. We're going to go and focus on the thing that we like to create. What kind of art is it? What kind of books are they? What kind of creations? Is it gardening? Get outside. Like whatever it is that brings us joy, petting the dog. I don't care. Anything else, as long as you can take your focus and your energetics off of the thing that's bringing you down and put it on something that brings you up, that is going to be enough to start moving your vibration. Remember we talked about that dominant signal. It's moving you into the dominant signal of joy, love, peace, passion. And so it's removing you, opting you out of what they want you to feel, which is fear. It is hopelessness and powerlessness. And it's going, no, screw that. I'm not choosing to be in that vibe, and I'm going to do something else. And there is that like level of, there's like a cognitive dissonance that like exists in that liminal space between the two, especially when you're ADHD, when you're looking at the numbers, you can see what that is and you know what you're supposed to feel when you're looking at those numbers, and then choosing to go, I don't care. I'm going to focus on this instead. And so there's a level of power that has to come forward from us to just be in that defiant, rebellious state and go, I've played this game long enough and I'm choosing differently.
That is delicious, because that's where like my internal struggle has been lately, of being like, objectively, I see what they're doing. It's like, I look out into the fascist sunset. Like, I know it's bad. And then like, there's this fight between me, and part of me is like, well, I better just go lay down in the grass and wait for the world to reabsorb me. And the other part of me is like, fuck you, I do what I want. And that fuck you, I do what I want is the survival mechanism. Honestly, it's saying like, no matter what your systemic approach to the beiging of this entire community, like, I refuse to be beiged. I will be hot pink. I will be glittery. That you cannot make me beige. No matter how much beige you put on me, I'm still going to like explode into glitter and like hopefully get in your eyes.
I love it.
I'm very angry sometimes.
Same. I think there's a level of defiance that has to happen here, though, because I think they've trained so many people on the left, especially to sit down, be quiet, accept what it is, try to be so understanding and caring about the other people. And it's fine. You can still care for those people who are not thinking in the same way as you. You can still get like at their base root level, energetics and otherwise, you can love them. You can love who they are, what they be, all that stuff, and still go, no, that's not my vibe. That's not what I choose. That's not what I want. And so I'm going to focus elsewhere. There is this level of like, when we know that we're all one, there is this level of like contrast that has to occur for us to understand ourselves on a more holistic level. So darkness has to exist in order for the light to understand its light, and vice versa. And so we know that these things...
We've been watching Star Wars lately, and so you've been like the light and the dark and the balance. And I'm like, oh yes, like in Star Wars.
I love that, but it's just the way I be. Like if you read any of my books, this is literally everything that I always talk about.
Yeah, well, because like it makes sense. Like nothing can be great all the time. Like in our human experience, and I'm sorry that I cut you off, so I'm going to have to circle back. But like the human experience has ups and downs. And you can get stuck in like toxic positivity, which is trying to only pretend that it's ups. And then you can also get stuck in like this like pragmatic nihilist, none of it matters. So like, who cares? Kind of only anticipating the downs. And like, I don't know, man. I think maybe it's both. I think maybe we get to express like all of our human experience and that's what brings us together. Like it's fear and division and being like, no, that guy's out to steal your wife and your job and the tires off your car because he's different. And it's like, look, Jeff Bezos is the villain here. Like Elon Musk, the fact that Musk is like on track to become the world's first trillionaire. He's not manifesting that. He's squeezing people to death for that.
Yep.
Good God, makes me angry.
But that's a good thing. When you think about it, like we've been told, don't feel things like that because they're lower vibration, right? Especially if you're in the spiritual community, don't feel anger because you got to be high vibe all the time. And that's bullshit. Feelings are we are physical beings for a reason, and we have emotions on the entire spectrum for a reason. Those feelings are meant to be felt, witnessed, and moved so that we can get back into that higher vibe state. But when something is calling us into anger or indignation, or like it's time to do something and there's a pressure there, that the inspired action step isn't to go, oh, I'm the wrong one. I need to like make myself like chill the fuck out. That's not the vibe. It's what is this calling of me? What is this requiring of me? Is this to take action and be like, I'm gonna go sign up for Congress? Like whatever the case might be. Like what is it that we are being called into action? Is my role to bring more awareness to the fact that Elon Musk is doing this? You know what I mean? Is it to bring light and awareness to the fact that we are actually in some sort of capitalistic dystopia and that we need to be able to like shift everything to a different place? Can we manifest and talk about something else that is meant to take its place instead? Like, what is it that it's stirring up in you, and what is being called to be witnessed in that process of it? But so many of us put a tamp on it because we're like, no, I better not talk about that because good girls don't talk about this, and they don't get angry, and they don't go down the emotional scale to the point of anger or indignation, because that's just not right.
Man, the denial of anger is so real. I've had many conversations with my partner now where I'm like, you've seen the most anger out of any of my partners. And he was like, isn't that bad? And I was like, no, because it means I feel safe enough to show you my breadth of human emotion. Like I just simply was not allowed to be angry for like 30 years.
Yeah.
Anytime I got angry, it was like, you need to shut up. You need to be more grateful. What are you mad about? I would get gaslit. Like,
yeah, I think so many people do.
Abusive marriage. Like, it's just like, no, my ex-husband wouldn't eat food if I made it in a bad mood. And so I had to act happy while I made dinner. Like I just was not allowed to be having a bad day.
Wow.
And I changed my behavior over it. I was like, oh, better act nice. God, if it was me now, I'd be like, oh, well, I was a little pissed off when I packed your lunch today. Could you taste it? Like,
isn't it wild how we mask like that when we're in this process of like just being around other people because we think we have to be palatable to them, but they don't think they have to be palatable to us?
Yeah.
What is that?
Why is nobody else worried about being palatable?
Right?
Fuck you guys. I'm tired.
Me too.
Being palatable is exhausting and boring and beige.
Yeah, it really is, because we're here to be in that full spectrum of color. And so many of us will dim that light, and then we wonder why we're not manifesting our true desires. And it's like, well, you're not truly being you. You're not embracing your full breadth of authenticity to call in everything that you're wanting, because you're dimming your light a little bit. Where can you shine brighter should be the question that we're asking.
I love that. I hope that's a little reel that gets clipped out of this episode. Yeah. Where can I shine brighter? Where can I be colorful? Like, not how do I fit in, but like, how do I stand out?
Yep. Well, when you look at, it's so funny because I've thought about this ever since I was a kid. It's like when you look at celebrities, right? So many of us are like, oh, in high school or whatever, I need to like wear the same clothes and be the same. I was the kid that was like, normal people were boring. Like I was wearing those shirts like in high school. Like, I don't care. Like you all are no. And I was seeing, when you look at, they kind of make fun of it a little bit in the Hunger Games with like the flamboyant, when you get to the main district and everybody's like in this crazy makeup and all these things. But what it's telling you is like, when you look at Lady Gaga, when you look at Chappell Roan and like everything like that, when you're seeing people, we automatically are attracted to those who are outside the norm, because they're just eye-catching, and we're like, what is going on here? How did they be? Like, what brought them there? Like, how do they do their makeup, for starters? Like, I don't know. Like, whatever it is, we are drawn to that, and we have always been drawn to those who are just slightly different. And obviously, those who are slightly different when it comes to intellectualism, like they're the ones that are the inventors and the creators of things that no one else thought of, because they're seeing patterns outside of the norm of what other people are seeing, and yet we still want to put people in boxes. And why is that? It doesn't make sense, because when we shine our true authenticity, that's when we are seen the most.
Well, because being authentic builds community, and community is a threat to capitalism.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Honestly. Like by this logic, we should all love drag queens. And so they have to manufacture outrage and fear of drag queens and being like, oh, they're going to corrupt your children. Like, right. Meanwhile, we're just like ignoring the fact that like Trump spent a bunch of time on Pedophile Island. Like, what?
Like what?
But
that's a joke. Don't you know that's a joke? Girl. No.
Oh my God.
Like, are you gaslighting your own self? Use your eyeballs.
It's so hard. Like, and I have some compassion for like people who are in the cult, because you don't often know that you're getting indoctrinated into a cult. And then by the time you're in the cult, that's your whole sense of belonging. That's your whole sense of community. Which,
well, look at how we, as like anybody who is in a capitalistic society, that's a cult. We have been indoctrinated into the cult of capitalism and told that everything's fine, not realizing that we've actually been indoctrinated as slaves in the cult of capitalism for these billionaires and oligarchs to be running the country. And so we're no different. Like we can empathize with them, because we can see how like our entire lives, until you have the wool pulled from your eyes and you're like, holy crap, we're in class warfare right now. Until that happens, you're indoctrinated there too. You think that I have to do this way because this is the way it's always been.
Yeah, this is how society operates. And it's like, but this society that's operating so well is like criminalizing homelessness. Why is that a criminal thing? That's we should
but it's perfectly fine for alligator Alcatraz.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So we've gotten on an angry tangent.
We went from Gilmore Girls to alligator Alcatraz. How did that happen?
We did. We're very talented. Yeah. And then like, if you talk about the fact that like, maybe the minimum wage should be higher, everybody's like, I don't want to pay $20 for a latte. I'm like, I'm saying that the CEO should make less money.
Right. Yeah.
And they're like, people are just baffled by the fact that I think a CEO should make a normal human amount of money and not like more money than God. Okay. Well, I want to wrap us up here. One, because I have a client in 7 minutes, and two, because we've really devolved from the topic.
Well, yes and no, because we are trying to, like, when you look at the manifestation stuff that I teach over at manifestdifferently.com, like for me, it's always been about, how do we get back into this equity, sovereignty aspect? And so I channeled something in April called Araya. And Araya is like, how do we look at money when you're living this capitalistic dystopia and you want to still call more in, and it feels as, for a neurodivergent especially, it feels discordant to want more of that when you're looking at the billionaires and the oligarchs ruining everything and you don't want to be them. Mm-hmm. And so I channeled this thing called Araya, and I created a manifesto, and like we've been talking about it on TikTok and on YouTube, where it literally is seeing the way that money should be operating. And it, when I looked at it closer after it was channeled, it's a lot like the way that democratic socialism works, where like no one is left out. Everyone's has their basic needs met. The distortion that we're seeing with money cannot physically happen because Araya will block it. So that we were looking at the energetics, and I actually had a lot of the TikTok people who are following me like kind of weigh in, like what else should be in this manifesto of how we're looking at the way Araya is and how it be. And so when we're calling in more money, so to speak, we're actually mentally transforming it into Araya instead, so that it's blocking out anyone who would use money as distortion, and instead be manifesting more through this place of like, we are here for the benefit of all humanity. We're here to be able to call back our power and our sovereignty in a place of true support and like divine reciprocity versus whatever this like late stage capitalism hellscape has been.
Like a mutual aid. I recently, like in the last year or so, like shifted from being like, these are my rates, pay me, hire me, yada yada, to being like a mutual aid rate. Like I have a tiered pricing structure where it's like, hey, if you can like easily take a vacation once or twice a year without worrying about your job, you can probably afford the list price. And then if you need a discount, I've got like 2 different discount codes, because I want to work with people and I don't want money to be a barrier. Mm-hmm. But like I still need to price the services I offer at like, because I need money to live.
Yeah.
And so I like really rehashed my pricing and like my rates, because it wasn't all gelling, and now it feels better. And also like I started the Patreon because I'm like, if you just like what I'm putting out and you want to support me doing more of this, there's a Patreon, you can.
Yeah.
And it's great.
I've been doing something very similar for both Author Revolution and Manifest Differently. I use this platform called Kajabi, and it allows you to have like a pay what you want function in it. So it's like I always set like a base level. And so in my offers, I'm like, okay, look, the base level is this, the recommended price is this. And if you want to pay more, you are more than welcome, like whatever might be. And so I try to list it at like, what would be energetically the lowest I would accept and still feel energetically compensated for. And so I kind of tap into my own innate yes. I'm a manifesting generator, so I have to feel a yes first before I move forward with the next thing. And then, I mean, I've seen prices fluctuate, and like a good portion of people are like just, able to only pay the minimum, which is fine. But there are like those few that will be like, a couple bucks over. There'll be some that are that's $20 over. And then I've had some that are like $300 over, $400 over. And so that to me feels more in alignment, because then when those people, like you said, who have more can give more, they actually do. And when they're in alignment with what you're doing and the vibration that you're putting out, where it's like, I'm not here to nickel and dime you. I'm here to offer something of support to you that I know, based off of my years and experience deep diving and going down the rabbit holes of all these things, that I can offer you some pretty cool stuff. But I also know that like we're all kind of in this place where we don't know what tomorrow looks like, and we want to manifest something better. What does this look like? That's why the pricing is different.
Love that.
Yeah.
Well, just as we end, and we did not get to near as many things as I wanted to talk about, so you might be coming back, or maybe I'll go on your show and we'll just trade.
I would love that.
What is like a little piece of advice that you can give people who are like, what the hell is manifesting and why should I do it? Like, just end on a little note of advice.
Yeah. So manifestation, you're manifesting all the time. You just don't always do it intentionally. So we're either operating from our default settings of like whatever we believe is what we're bringing in, versus when you're doing it intentionally, you are taking a look at how you want your life to be, something you want to bring into your life, like the art desk, whatever it might be. And you are going to intentionally change your thoughts, actions, so that they're in alignment with receiving that thing. And as long as you're not blocking yourself by throwing up resistance to receiving that thing, and, you know, telling yourself when it has to happen or how it has to happen, if you're open to the universe bringing it to you in the best, most aligned way, and can just kind of lean back, it comes to you. And you're probably going to see that throughout your life. If you look at the things that you really, really wanted, a car, a house, a kid, a spouse, a partner, you know, whatever it is, there was probably a level where they were in conception. You have to think about the thing that you wanted first and then move into that place of having it. And you have to get into alignment of locking in that vibe, trusting that it's yours, taking the action steps until it is. And so manifestation and quantum manifestation is literally just acknowledging our desires, knowing that we get to have pretty much anything that we want as long as we believe that we get to have it, and just kind of chilling out a little bit so that the universe and the quantum field can bring it to us.
Lovely. I love that. And we're going to put links to your various websites into the show notes. And if you can get me a link to your book, the manifestation books, we'll save the paranormal fantasies for another time.
I'll have to put up some pre-order links for those, because right now they're still in, I'm still in fulfillment for the Kickstarter. Yes. So I don't have pre-order links, but I can definitely get those up.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me. I look forward to having you back, because
I would love to be back. It would be so much fun.
People have a ton of questions and more things for us to talk about.
Heck yes, I would love that. Just let me know.
Awesome. Okay, bye.
Bye. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks for being here.
Don't change your approach and tell you a joke to lighten your load and help you along, or sing you a song. Do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do.